Hello friends, in today's session we are going to discuss the case Salomon versus Salomon and Company Limited. First, let us briefly understand this case. The case of Salomon versus Salomon and Company Limited clarified the legal status of a company. Salomon, a shoemaker, transferred his business to a newly transformed company where his family members were merely nominal directors. The company acquired the business by issuing shares and debentures to Salomon. However, the company soon went bankrupt. During liquidation, debentures holders were given priority, leaving nothing for the unsecured creditors. The unsecured creditors argued that the company was merely an extension of Salomon himself and that he should be personally liable for its debts. The lower and appellate courts accepted this argument. However, the House of Lords overturned the decision, ruling that once a company is legally incorporated, it becomes a separate legal entity regardless of whether a single person holds most of its shares. The company and its members were considered distinct entities, and Solomon was not personally liable for the company's debts. This case established the principle of corporate will, which generally recognized a company and its owners as separate legal persons. However, if a company is used for fraud or unjust enrichment, the court may lift the corporate will and hold the real individual accountable. Now, let us study this case in details. Answer: Salomon Appellant versus Salomon and Company Limited. Respondent reference 1897 AC 22. Subject: this case examined the legal status of a company and established that a company has an independent legal personality. Facts of the case: a person named Salomon was engaged in the shoe manufacturing business. His financial position was strong and his assets exceeded his liabilities. He formed a company called Solomon and Company Limited with the objective of acquiring his business. This company had 7 members: Solomon, his wife, his daughter, and his 4 sons. Solomon and his 2 sons were members of the board of directors. The company purchased Solomon's business for £40,000 in exchange for which Solomon received £20,000 worth of shares and £20,000 in debentures. The company's assets were mortgages as security for these debentures. Within a year, the company went into liquidation. At the time of liquidation, the company's financial condition was as follows: assets £6,000, number 2, liabilities £10,000, debentures and £7,000 unsecured creditors. After paying the debentures holders, nothing remained for the unsecured creditors. The unsecured creditors argued that although the company was incorporated under the Company Act, it had no independent existence. They claimed that the company was merely an extension of Solomon's personal business and his family members were only nominal directors. Therefore, Solomon was personally liable for the company's debts. Decision of the lower court: the judge ruled in favor of the creditors, stating that the company had the right to claim indemnification from Mr. Solomon. The judge held that the signatories of the memorandum of incorporation were merely dummies and that the company was essentially just another from the Mr. Solomon himself. Therefore, the agency argument was accepted and the principal Solomon was deemed liable for indemnification. Decision of the Court of Appeal: the Court of Appeal upheld the lower court's ruling but on different grounds. it held that Solomon has abuses the privilege of incorporating a limited liability company. The court determined that the company acted as a trustee for Solomon and that therefore Solomon was liable for the company's debts. Decision of the House of Lords. The House of Lords overturned the lower court's decision. It ruled that once a company is legally incorporated, it obtains an independent legal personality regardless of whether a single person holds the majority of its capital. According to the law, a company is distinct from its members and its validity cannot be challenged on the basis that most of its ownership is controlled by one person. The court clarified that the Companies Act did not specify how much economic interest each of seven members must hold, nor did it require them to independent persons. Since the company fulfilled all legal requirements, it was considered a separate entity from Solomon. Judgment. The House of Lords held that once a company is incorporated, it requires an independent legal personality. Therefore, the claims of secured creditors, debentures holders were upheld, while the claims of unsecured creditors were dismissed. Significance. The ruling led to the establishment of the corporate wealth doctrine. According to this principle, in normal circumstances, a company and its owners are considered separate legal entities. However, if a company is used for fraud, undue advantage, or to evade legal obligations, the corporate veil can be lifted, holding the real individual accountable. This ensures that no one can hide behind the corporate entity to escape liability. Please watch full video, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.